Now available as paperback and e-reader from the author of Spinsterella, A Strange and Unusual Romance, and Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black comes from Legendary Magazine. And you get the conclusion to the Spinsterella trilogy in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Men and women are different, and because men and women are different, they process information in different ways. Now, most men are logical, and because men are logical, they process information by listening to all of what somebody says and then taking that information and thinking about it critically. However, women are emotional. So a female will take information and she will process it based on her feelings. And because most women are emotional, what they do when they're listening to someone is they participate in a process called selective hearing. And this is something I talked about in my ebook, Why 70% of Black Women Are Single. And it was one of the core reasons I believe that many black women are single is that they participate in selective hearing. And selective hearing works like this. A female, when you are giving her information, will not take all of what you are saying and think about it critically. No, because she is emotional, she will take certain words and catchphrases that make her feel a certain way, and she will react to the certain words and phrases you are using that make her feel a certain way. And because she acts on feelings of what she's hearing, she only selects certain words and phrases you are saying and does not listen to the rest of what you are saying to her. So, in a selective hearing situation, you could say something like, I like eating pizza, and she will hear, I like, but she won't hear you say eating pizza. She'll just take that word like and go with that. And this is a really dangerous thing as related to selective hearing because when you are not thinking critically, you're not breaking down information based on all of what somebody is saying and then deconstructing the parts of that whole statement to think about it, to think about what this guy is saying or what he's saying to you. When it comes down to females, again, they go by what they feel a guy's saying. So they'll listen to the things that they want to hear, and then they'll believe the things that they want to hear because they have selective hearing. They select the parts of what a person is saying that make them feel a certain way, and then they react to it. This is why a lot of females get caught up with thugs and bad boys because the guys say things that make them feel a certain way, and then they react to what they are saying, and they wind up getting involved with this guy because he's making them feel a certain way by making certain statements. And whenever a female is doing with selective hearing, it also does a lot of damage on the job because oftentimes when you're on a job with a female, she'll listen to the things that you're saying that she likes hearing, but then she won't listen to things that she doesn't like hearing. And one of the things females do when they have selective hearing is that they'll tune out things that people are saying that offend them or insult them or things that are meant to warn them of danger. They won't listen to those things because they're not making them feel a certain way or they're not making them think about something. They don't really do much thinking. They do a lot of reacting, and they're reacting to what you're saying. And when sometimes it also works like this, in that they'll use the selective hearing in hearing something bad and hear only one part of it and then react to it again and get violent about it instead of sitting there and listening to all of what somebody is saying. And selective hearing is, again, it's a very dangerous behavior that a lot of females participate in because in addition to using selective hearing to get involved with these so-called thugs and bad boys, selective hearing puts a lot of children in jeopardy because a lot of times children are sexually abused and molested, and because the female has selective hearing going on, she'll listen to this bad guy tell her that everything is okay while her daughter is telling her this guy is doing horrible things to her, and she won't hear the daughter telling her things because the daughter isn't telling her things she wants to hear. She's telling her things she doesn't want to hear, so she tunes it out and then listens to the things she wants to hear from the bad guy. So selective hearing is a very dangerous thing to participate in, and a lot of females participate in selective hearing whenever they're given information. They don't take the time to process all the information given to them in the way a logical thinking man would, and instead they just take certain words and certain phrases and then they react to it. And I've seen this type of behavior on social media. This is why people will go out of their way to write these large blocks of things like this verbal diarrhea because they react to one thing somebody said in a video instead of listening to all of the video to hear something being presented in a context. And when it comes down to females, they do this a lot. They tend to react to somebody just saying a certain word and then they're writing all this stuff in the comment section, but they're not thinking about what he's saying in terms of a context. And when it comes down to a lot of beta males, they also participate in selective hearing as well, because your beta male, he thinks a lot like a female, and he also processes information just like a female. So you can give information to a beta male, and instead of listening to the information in terms of the context of the information, he will not think about everything you're saying critically. What he will do is he will hear a word like black woman or Negro, and he will start getting emotional, and he will react to the phrase you're saying, but not think about the context of the phrase. And he's participating in selective hearing when he does that. And selective hearing, again, is a bad thing to have, especially when you're in certain situations like family situations where children are trying to tell you something and they're talking about things that are going on in their lives that's related to bullies or dangerous situations, like situations with child molesters or pedophiles where people tune out things. Or if you have this guy on a job and he's working in a very hazardous situation, he's not thinking about when his supervisor is telling him that this is a very dangerous chemical and you need to wear gloves. So he's not listening to all of what you're saying and learning the procedure for handling these chemicals, like is first putting on the gloves and then being very careful when handling them. He's just hearing, oh, this is a dangerous chemical, and he's not learning the process and the steps for handling things. So when you have people with selective hearing, they put a lot of people at risk, they put a lot of people at danger, and selective hearing is it's a very troubling and dangerous behavior that people participate in because they are reacting on emotion and they're not responding by thinking critically about everything presented to them. And most of the time, they're going on listening based on their feelings and not focusing on all the inherent facts as related to an issue or a subject. When it comes down to hearing, a lot of people, they really, like beta males and females, they have to learn how to stop doing selective hearing and start trying to think more critically about things, because again, selective hearing is a dangerous behavior to participate in, because if you don't hear all of what somebody says, you may miss out on information that could benefit you in the long term or protect you from danger that could harm you or cost you your life. If you'd like to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon by clicking the link in the description box. And if you want to learn more about selective hearing, you can pick up Why 70% of Black Women Are Single on Amazon.com in the ebook. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.